Welcome back to Catalan Soccer, guys. In this video, we're talking about how to make the perfect halftime team talk to inspire a team to make a comeback when they're losing at halftime. So let's get straight into the video with some top tips on how to get your team to make a comeback. Halftime team talks are crucial moments that can change the course of a match. Your words have got the power to inspire and to motivate players to make a comeback if you say the right things and push the right buttons. So let's look at some of the strategies we need to use to make that comeback. Step one is to maintain a positive atmosphere. Regardless of the scoreline, it's essential to create a supportive and uplifting environment during the halftime team talk. Remind your players that the match isn't over and there's still an opportunity that they can get back into the game. Step two is to focus on the positives, what we've done well in the first half of the game and the things that can hopefully transpire better in the second half if we stick at them and keep working on them in the second half of the match. You need to celebrate the good passes, bits of creativity, solid tackles, anything that will hopefully inspire them to make that comeback based on how well they've performed in the first half, even if the scoreline's going against them. And this can build confidence in their abilities and reinforce the idea that the comeback is on, but they need some self-confidence and self-belief to start that motivation and drive into the second half. Step three is to address the challenges. You need to recognize the weaknesses and what's going wrong in that first half, maybe the reason why goals have been conceded, but then you need to frame them as opportunities for growth. And at that point, any opportunity to build on those weaknesses and try and focus on them is a time to reinforce the ideas of resilience, working against the odds, and teamwork where we work together rather than individually. Often when teams are losing, teams can start to separate and split into individuals. We want to bring them back together at halftime, reinforce the teamwork element, make sure we're working together for the comeback. Step four is to set specific goals for the second half. Now, the reason this is so important is if the comeback doesn't happen and they don't quite manage to either level or turn the scoreline around, we still need to make sure at the end of the game there's tons of positives that they can take by goals and objectives that we set at halftime to try and strive for in the second half. So break down the second half into achievable goals, whether that's keeping possession and dominating the ball, whether that's keeping a clean sheet in the second half, whether that's creating more chances and scoring more goals, whether that's staying tight to your players and man-marking people out of the game. Setting these clear directions and focuses can make sure that then kids are thinking about the right things during the game and not concentrating too heavily on the scoreline. Step five is one of the hardest ones. It's to inspire belief. And what good coaches can do is paint a vivid picture of what a successful comeback will look like. You need to get it into the player's mind. Maybe use stories of successful comebacks and legendary comebacks from football that they will remember or they will recognize to help them understand that when the odds are against them, it does not mean you are done. And then when we reference those legendary comebacks, we make sure we stress the importance of how they happened through teamwork, through resilience, and through self-belief. Step six is to strategize and adjust. We may need to provide tactical guidance on how to exploit the opponent's weaknesses or adapt the team's approach for a more effective second half performance. So empower your players with a plan and how to execute it properly. Think about where their goals have come from. Have they come from wide positions? Have they come down the middle? Have they come from long balls? And then try to adopt a plan that will make sure that those biggest strengths of the opponent aren't your biggest weaknesses. And remember that the halftime team talk is just the beginning of that comeback. So in the second half, you need to remain positive. You need to reinforce those messages that we've talked about at halftime. And you need to make sure that kids stay on task and stay focused on their objectives. And then at the end of the game, even though you've done your best to try and inspire a comeback for the players, if it doesn't amount to anything or you don't manage to quite make up the full scoreline and get level or get ahead in the game, you can still stress all the fantastic things that they've done to meet those objectives to try and get back into the game. So even when we come out of a losing game, we can hopefully take some confidence into the next game of all the things that we've done wrong to try and make sure we don't end up losing at halftime in the next match. Thank you for watching, guys. We hope you found that useful. And don't forget that as a coach, you have the ability to inspire and motivate players to do incredible things. We'll see you soon.